It's there. Blowing like crazy. First of many conditioning hikes out here in Lexington. This is week 2 of my marathon program. So marathon program is, of course, part of a bigger goal for June, Kitoko. And part of the marathon program has cross training in it, which is having a pack on your back, for me anyway, because I think that's the best way to do the best of both worlds, right? I could get on a bicycle for cross training, but why do that when I can also condition myself for many of the winter expeditions I'm going to have this winter. Everything heads towards 6,000 meters as far as I'm concerned. Pissing down rain. I don't mind.
Whether it's my mountain goals or my race goals, the number one question I usually get is why? And it's a fair question. I'm not even sure I know the answer myself, really.
So am I crazy? Am I obsessed? What's the deal? Why am I running in a snowstorm? Well, today, that's week 5. Day 4. Running toward part of my program, part of my marathon training. More importantly, part of my preparation for Peru. And the thing is, it's cold and it's windy, but it's gonna be a hell of a lot more colder up there. And that's why I'm training for a marathon in the middle of the winter. I want to build mental toughness as well as physical toughness. So we're out, we're training, and honestly, I love it. Trail's empty, snow's a little cushioning. You gotta go easy extra, obviously not so you're slipping, but feels great.
So I trained for 18 weeks, and having this marathon goal kept me motivated and gave me a schedule to run by, and I had cross training for the pack. I trained right into the spring, and I felt really good. I ran my marathon in just under 4 hours, and I knew I was getting ready, getting myself prepared for what was coming next. What I didn't know at the time was that I may have been physically prepared, but nothing could really mentally prepare me for what was to come in Peru up high in June. The week before I left for my expedition, I traveled up to Maine to see family and friends. I didn't tell anyone at the time, and they probably didn't need me to actually say it, but I was there just in case. I mean, don't get me wrong, this was a great company I was with, it's very safe, great track record, but high altitude alpine mountaineering, it's not a safe activity, right? You can minimize the risk, you can do everything you can do in your power to make sure you come home, but it's never a guarantee in this sport. That week before the expedition, a sense of calm really came over me. I had done everything I could possibly do. I trained really, really hard, bought gear, packed, unpacked, repacked, and there was nothing left to do besides get on that plane. And I was ready. Well, I'm here at my gate. 3 hours early, as is typical for me. There was no lines at the TSA or check-in, so it went really smooth. So I'm just gonna hang out, and we should be in Miami by about 4 o'clock, 4:30, and then in Lima by 10 tonight to the hotel. So the adventure is officially beginning. It still doesn't feel real yet. I'm sure eventually at some point it'll start to really feel real, but right now it still kind of feels like this crazy thing that I'm embarking on and doing. It's like, I woke up this morning and I think one of my first thoughts was, what am I doing? Gonna go to Peru to climb a mountain. I got a lot of my gear here. All the sharp pointy stuff, the crampons, the ice axes, all that is gonna be under the plane. All my warm layers and everything else, and a bunch of the kit, GoPro, batteries is there, so I guess we'll see you guys on the other side. Alright, well, I'm on board. My 30 pounds of kit fitted up above, no problem. I'm sure that I'm gonna have visitors soon. It's gonna be a full flight. Starting to feel real now. Yeah, starting to feel real. The emotion, there's a lot in there. Dream, it's something I've something I think about for years and years, and the journey starts right now. Of course, they're gonna get to Miami, then they get to Lima. There's a lot of travel still involved. There's an 8-hour bus ride. There's a lot, but and then also, you know, I'm missing my wife already. I am. She's incredible. She's been there for me for.
Good afternoon. Welcome aboard.
Anyways,
We have a completely full flight. Please place small carry-on items underneath the seat in front of you. Larger carry-on items should be placed.
Well, I'm here in the hotel. Bags are here, and culture shock. Can't drink out of the faucet, so luckily one of the guys gave me a bottle of water for the night. Right across from the airport. I'm in another country. Yeah, talk about culture shock. So I'm gonna get a few things together, and then I'm just gonna go to bed because I'm tired. Long bus ride tomorrow. All right, headed for some breakfast. Going on the bus today to Horace. It's gonna be 14,000 feet at one point on the bus. Then we're back down, and Horace is about 10K feet. 8-hour bus ride, so hotel's quite nice. So Wyndham. It's gonna be a long day, but I'm looking forward to it. We drove out of Lima, slowly made our way toward the mountains, and then eventually we started climbing. We were going up this narrow road in this giant bus. It was quite the experience. It's one way to put it. As we rose above the valley, the sun was setting, and it was beautiful. beautiful. When we finally got on the high plain, headed towards Juarez, that's when I saw them. Gorgeous, beautiful, glaciated peaks. And the reality of where I was, what I was about to attempt, slowly began sinking in. I'll never be able to really truly describe this experience, this first viewing of the Cordillera Blanca. But it was spectacular.
Alright. Here we are. In the cab. I started my vlog. Oh, you can't see the bags. Sardines.
I just love that, man. I got the cab everywhere. That's not a unique experience. Not for me.
Alright, heading to a little breakfast this morning on top of the hotel. It's a beautiful little hotel. Quite nice. Say hi.
It's sunny, it's so bright.
Wow. Buenos dias. What a spot. Beautiful.
Climbing a big mountain is a lot more than just showing up and going high. You have to acclimatize. The process can take weeks. For us, it was about 7 to 8 days. We started with small day hikes out of Juarez, and the first day we went up to about 13,000 feet. Juarez itself is at about 10. Harley, what a character. The next day, we woke up, had our breakfast, piled into a tiny van, headed up more narrow, pretty dangerous looking mountain roads. Our destination was a trailhead, which would take us to Laguna Chura. At 14,600 feet, it would be a new altitude record for me. And this was just day 3 acclimatization hike.
Alright, we just got off van. 45-minute drive up here. Just about 13,000 feet. And it's unbelievably beautiful up here, just like everywhere else I've been. Today we're going up about 15,000, 14,800 or something like that total. Be our last acclimatization hike. We'll go back down to Juarez tonight, and then we'll head to base camp after that tomorrow, and then at some point to advanced base camp. But yeah, it's just beautiful up here. Happy to be here.
Unless you've been at altitude before, it's hard to really describe how hard it is. I've climbed a lot of pitches like this in the White Mountains, pretty typical. But up high, everything is harder, especially when you get above 14,000 feet or so. You hear me in a lot of these videos huffing and puffing, breathing hard, working hard up high. And honestly, that's part of the reason I'm here. is for that experience.
So it could be like now. It could be like half a second. It's just less than a second when you rest on your back leg, and you want to rest like in the bones, in the skeleton, not on the muscle. If you're like in the muscle is on tension all the time, right?
Here comes Nate, like a boss. Gaspar down there. 14,700 feet. The Buya trip. And unbelievable. Working hard up high. Oh, here comes Harley. He's gonna jump in. The crazy bastard.
I mean, in this video, it looks like a nice, bright, sunny day, which it was. The thing you have to remember is that we are almost at 15,000 feet. The outside temperature was probably about 55 degrees. The water was close to 45. And as you can see here, we're not very far from where the snow line starts. So Harley he's a pretty special person. My brother and I, we have a tradition when we top out somewhere, which I did uphold, although I'll admit was quite difficult given the altitude. After our trip to near 15,000 feet, our team was ready for base camp. So we headed back to the hotel, spent the night, and the next morning we were back in another little van, headed up another little tiny, dangerous mountain road.
Having fun yet?
Oh yeah. Great road.
This is gonna be brutal. Alright, so we're set up at base camp. This is just a temporary base camp. We're actually going to go higher to an advanced base camp starting tomorrow. But we have the cook tent there, dining tent, kitchen tent, and then two sleeping tents there, and then there's my tent with Harley.
Upon arriving at base camp around 9 or 10 a.m., we geared up and headed up higher for another acclimatization hike. This would be, again, another personal altitude record for me. I'm all smiles here. What I don't realize is that I'm slowly beginning to experience altitude sickness. When I tell people that this was the most beautiful place I'd ever been in my life, I don't know if that really quite sinks in. It was indescribably gorgeous.
So there's Pisco on the left. We'll be climbing, at least attempting to climb. This is Coclaracu, very dangerous, the most difficult mountain to climb in Peru. And this is incredible. Living my dream.
When we got back down to base camp, that's really when I knew I just wasn't feeling right. Got the pulse ox on me, and I was diagnosed with AMS, acute mountain sickness. You know, initially watching that sunset, I felt really terrible, like maybe I just wasn't going to be able to do this, but that medicine, it worked great, it worked fast, and by the next morning, I felt like a whole new person, and I was ready to go. we broke down camp and headed for a base camp on Yanapacha. We once again piled into a small van and headed up another pretty sketchy mountain road. You can see way down there in the valley is our base camp by that lake. And this road took us up about 2,000 feet, where we were going to then offload and hike the rest of the way up to high camp on Yanapacha. And our gear would be put on donkeys.
We are at 15,000 feet, just about 15,000 feet, and we are loading up the donkeys. And we're going to go higher. We're going to go to close to 16 for advanced base camp. Feeling the altitude for sure. Happy I'm already on the Dimox. See everyone in a bit. It'll be a wild ride. So this is how you climb at almost 16,000 feet. Because you work too hard here, you'll never recover at 16,000 base camp. Here's Harley coming up. So he's got that right idea. He's got that nice slow alpine gait. What a beautiful view though. Incredible. So we just keep going up. Here they come. There's my duffel. Right there. These are like sled dogs. They love to work. They're trained to work. It's what they do. And I heard they're some of the best cared for animals on the planet, really. They get checkups all the time. That's my favorite one right there. They're see the vet constantly. And they love doing this stuff. They love working hard up high like this. Alright, there's base camp. There's a few other teams with us. There's our cook tent, and the green tent's ours. Up behind there's another team. Burrow is getting a much needed drink and some rest. And then over here is Yapacha. I can't believe this. Looking at this right now, I can't believe I'm here. This is the definition of surreal. I've dreamed about advanced base camps before. I've read in books, I've watched movies, I've done it all. I've trained for 2 years. Excuse me. I trained for 2 years straight. I've dreamt. And here I am in their space camp. And there's a massive 19,000 foot glaciated peak. I'll be up there in a couple days. This does not feel real. I can't stop smiling. Other teams on the mountain. There's our team. And then here's the mess tent. Take a peek inside. Soup and tea coming soon, they said. Very cozy, very cozy. Yeah. Okay, now we'll come around. There's Nate. Yo. Don't step in donkey shit. Over here we have the kitchen. Alright. Things are being prepared. Hola.
¿Cómo estás, amigo?
Muy bien, ¿y tú? Some tea. Yep. It's amazing. You just peek out the window. Cozy in here. Alright, we just had some lessons on our helmets and harnesses, which I've never used. Crampons and boots, which I have. And getting ready for some dinner. Oh, Pat's sneaking up on me here.
I'm going to the toilet.
He's going to the toilet. There's Pat. It's cold up here, for sure. The sun goes down. But nice and cozy in my puppy. Let's see what we got for dinner. I don't know if it shows up on video, but it's snowing. Just got done with dinner. Headed back to the tent. That's what I was looking at earlier. Yeah. Right there. It's a little fox. Little fox, yeah. It's snowing. I don't know if that shows up in video, but yeah, it's snowing. We're headed back to the tent. There's some snow. Tuck in and get cozy-ish. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Alright, so here we are in the tent. It's snowing out. A little wind.
But we're cozy.
Well, I guess you can't actually see me. There we are. It's like the Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah, it is.
It's nice. 16,000 feet. It's, well, see how sleep goes. But just woke up. It's cold outside. It's blowing. So I'm gonna get dressed and get all my stuff on. Yeah, it's hard to sleep at 16,000 feet. Get a little bit here and there. 3 or 4 hours total, maybe. It's a lot of tossing, turning. It's just hard to breathe. Whenever you sleep, your breathing goes shallow, and then you're not getting enough oxygen into your lungs. And then you get a headache, and that wakes you up. And then you breathe heavy for a little bit, headache goes away, cycle repeats. There just isn't enough bloody oxygen up here. But should get better as we're up here longer. Kind of. Gaspar said you don't really sleep well at advanced base camps or high camps. But anyway, so glacier skills today. Should be cool. A team on the mountain right now, making their way up to the summit. And that's where we'll be in a couple days, right there. Puts in perspective how big this mountain is. Just coming up from the tent, which is just down there to here. Unbelievable how difficult things are at altitude, but look at that view. Incredible. I'm gonna go see if Marcel's got any hot water yet this morning. Buenos dias. Agua. Gracias. That's the ticket. Hot water. Gracias. Dude's the man. That's gonna feel good. So, Camp Cook is the other, it's Andean Peaks. And ours, Marcella. Look at this view. this is a profession for them. They go to school for it. He's got our table set this morning in the mess tent, and he's been cooking already this morning. He's got everything going. He's constantly getting us hot water, boiling water for us to drink all the time. You can get hot water any time of the day. And he's got the table set. And they do this. They love this. This is it's a coveted position, and they're really, really good at it. Yeah, he's got some. And it's just really quite a luxury to have on an expedition. I think Harley and I are the only ones up. But, we didn't sleep too great last night. That's okay. Alright. Waiting for our first glacier skills day. It's fucking Arctic. Let's see, Nate. A. B. Charlie, doesn't recognize him. Hey, Gaspar. And Crush. So, yeah, it's blowing and it's cold, so I'm excited to get up there though. See how it goes. Get some good protest footage. There's Ray. There's Gaspar. They're gonna set some ropes up for us, and we're gonna.
So the first skill that we learned on the glacier was ice climbing, believe it or not, because that's how we had to get on the glacier. You can hear here I'm working pretty hard. This is hard work when you're up that high.
Oh, you do?
Ray was there.
Okay.
Great tips, great advice. Couldn't ask for better guides, that's for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a crevasse and that snow in front of you, up here. You
I
don't
see.
step there. Don't step on the snow because it's soft snow. You can.
I see.
So better stay on that side of the crevasse for a little bit more. Yeah, go higher. A bit more.
Across here maybe?
Let's just take a look at that crevasse again, looking straight down. And this is definitely the smallest one during the expedition that we encountered. Crazy. We spent this day learning how to be hooked into a team and how to keep the rope at the correct tension, how to front point. Just learning all the basic glacier skills that most of us had not had. We had all, as a team, had done large mountains, 14,000 footers out west. Some of us had done Mount Shasta, which is a glaciated peak in California. But for all of us, this was definitely the biggest, the baddest thing we had ever done. So we spent this day just learning new skills and preparing. Once we got up on top of the glacier, as you can hear here, we really started to experience some of the weather that these mountains are capable of producing. This is a pretty bluebird perfect day, but it's pretty much always blowing up there, always cold. Just an amazing experience. I guess it should be noted, I'm not breathing for dramatic effect here. There's not a lot of oxygen in the air. Over 16,000.
This is incredible.
Here to get off the glacier. Have some lunch. Some tea. I'm pretty wrecked. It's just working hard up high. Even just walking up to the bathroom, it's a lot of work. It's windy. It's really warm in here. These Eddie Bauer 4 season tents are super comfortable, super warm. So we have some more class stuff to do in about an hour. I'm gonna just lay here and maybe get a little sleep, maybe not. Do a little recovery. Man, am I tired. It's just so hard to get rest at 16,000 feet. But I gotta try. Alright. This little reality check about life at altitude. Because as much as I love this sport, and as much as I've been looking forward to this, and as much as I'm still looking forward to Summit Day and everything, right now, I don't feel good. I'm tired. It's just so sick. I'm not being able to fucking breathe. Yeah. And I got diarrhea started, which is wonderful. Up here, drinking a lot of water. I just took Imodium, so hopefully that will stop that. And I'm just trying to catch some rest here. It's fucking Arctic. Snowing right now. Blowing. And this is what it looks like. You want to be a mountaineer, you want to do alpine mountaineering, this is a sport you want to get into, just be aware. There's a lot of this. There's a lot of amazingness, absolutely. And it's worth it for some people, it's worth it for me, but it's a hard fucking sport. This is a hard sport. We're spending 3 nights at 16,000 feet, and the body just isn't recovering at that altitude. I'm just gonna get a little rest before dinner time. My shit's everywhere. I gotta do a little organization. I don't have the energy to do anything right now besides lay here, so that's what we're gonna do. And I really miss Sarah. I miss her a lot. It's the longest I've been able to go without talking to her ever. It's hard. I got a little picture. Keep it with me. Thankfully, Harley's wife is texting her with updates, so she knows I'm okay. And that's really been a good peace of mind. But I miss her. I miss you, love. I miss you so much. Okay, that's the reality check for the day. We're gonna get a little rested.
You know, at the time, I didn't know that things were going to get worse. That Harley was going to have to go down, which meant Sarah wouldn't know if I was okay or not anymore. Already the isolation, it was getting to me. Already the altitude, the suffering, the pain, the tiredness, all of it was getting to me. And that's when the storm blew in. This was about 2 o'clock in the morning. Shit was about to get real.
Okay.
At this point in the trip, I'm at the lowest of my low. I was sick. We'd been stuck at altitude for multiple days. My friend and teammate had to get evacuated for high altitude pulmonary edema. So morale is low everywhere in the camp. It had been snowing for hours, blowing. We're basically stuck in our tents. Just going from my personal tent to the mess tent was as far as we could go, given the conditions, and it was really hard. It's an interesting thing looking back now at this trip, which is amazing and incredible and easily the best trip I've ever had in my life. But in the moments that you see here, in these moments where I'm laying there in that tent and the wind is blowing in the tent and the snow is coming down and I'm at altitude, I'm at 16,000 feet and it's hard to breathe. I am wondering what in the hell I'm doing there. I can't help but think of my wife and my family and my comfortable bed and just wonder what am I doing? Why am I here? It was really, really hard to get through that, to get past that. I used a lot of the same techniques that I use on the hard days of training and the hard mornings, which is why training is so important and why training hard is important, where you don't really think about it. You just do. That's the big thing. You just do. Because if you think about it, you're not going to get out in the morning, and you're not going to get out of the tent, right? So you just do, and that's what I did.
All right, so head up to the mess tent for breakfast. Here's the reality. My tent mate, my friend, someone who I've really bonded with over the last week, he's going down. Today, he's got pulmonary edema, so it sucks. It's just gonna be 3 of us on a rope for the summit day if we even get a break in the weather tomorrow. It's a big mountain. It's the real deal. 16,000 feet up here. This is the reality mountaineering that you don't see often. It sucks. It just sucks. That's it. That's all there is. I'm gonna head up and get some coffee. That's all you can do.
This particular day was just spent in the tents with the snow blowing, not being able to move. I was sick. I mean, I'm going to the bathroom in the rocks, in a bag, literally. And you don't really sleep at that altitude, so we spent 3 days just kind of having every night where you're laying down, but you're not really sleeping.
So yeah, this is what it's like. I've been like this all day. Takes a lot out of you. All day long storm. All night too, last night. Can you tell I'm sick of it? Don't get me wrong, I like a good storm. I'm on the couch with Sarah. With a nice show. Snack. Maybe a little gin drink. This, on the other hand, this I could do without at altitude. Warmer in this tent than it is in the mess tent, but before our guys left, they told us we shouldn't just be laying down all day. It's not good for the altitude, so we gotta be up. I'm gonna go up to the mess tent. I don't even have any idea what that's gonna be like, so why don't you go for a walk with me? First I gotta do this one hand. The wind is actually died down some. So that's good. This is the trail to the mess tent, or my tent. There's actually a pad up there. I'm actually getting more acclimatized here, so this breathing is pretty good, but it's been
It's like the top of Mount Washington, except 10,000 feet higher. And there we are. I'm above for the day. Well, it cleared up for, I don't know, maybe half an hour, and then it came back in again, just as hard. It's been snowing and blowing. I've been stuck in the tent. I was up in the mess tent with all the guys, which is good, but I just needed to come in and crawl in. It's warmer in this tent. Lay in my bag. I can't fall asleep because I need to be able to be awake. Oh, I gotta get that out of the way. I need to be able to be awake for... sorry, my brain's not functioning well. I need to be able to stay awake so that I can fall asleep early and get up at 2:30 in the morning for summit push. If the weather clears, we're going to push for the summit. And if I take a nap now, I won't be able to go to sleep at like 6:37 tonight. So I'm just going to lay here and just recuperate a little bit. It's just, I haven't done anything today except sit around. But even that takes it out of you at this altitude. Everything takes it out of you at this altitude. And the wind and the constant battering of the tent. It's just been, it's been hard today. Big mountains. So it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The storm is finally clearing. Stormed for 12 hours. And just starting to get a view. There's the Anapacha. The top is still in clouds. You can see mostly glacier. People at Advanced Base Camp are coming out of the tents, poking out. After having been tent bound for 12 hours, we're all kind of stretching our legs a bit, taking in the views. So hopefully the snowpack is not too much increased and it'll settle down overnight. So should be good for climbing in the morning. And it does look like it may clear. Of course, you never know. None of this is forecasted. So we'll see.
Yanapacha, which is this mountain that we were attempting, technically was quite difficult. We had just had that storm, so it was blowing and it was really cold. It was Arctic.
All right, so it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and getting ready to go summit. We're gonna summit it a little after 2:30. We're gonna start the push. So I'm gonna get dressed. I already have the top half dressed. I just gotta get the bottom half together, get the harness on, get everything together, have a little breakfast, and then we're gonna go. It's been blowing real hard all night. Harness is blowing the whole time I've been up here. The tent was shaking in the night, so it's definitely gonna be a little windy up there, but excited. I'm nervous. Pat and Nate are gonna be on my rope with Gaspar as a lead, and Ray and Kush are gonna be on the other rope. So let's go rock it. All right, we're headed out of camp. 2:30 this morning. Got some cold snow. See how it goes. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Okay, let me know when. Okay. Comes the sun. Second team behind us. Passed in line. Head wall above us. Past the ridge, look at that cornice. I don't know if we're gonna be able to go over this, to be honest. We'll see. It's cold this morning. Working hard. Just over about 80,000 feet right now. We're gonna keep going up here for a bit.
There was a team of climbers above us, a German team of climbers who just were going slow and digging holes and not really advancing well on the mountain. And they were up above us on this summit crutch on this ridge. And I'm just getting showered in ice and snow, and I'm cold and I can't move, and movement gives you warmth, right? And I was there for 30 to 40 minutes just not being able to move because of this team, and my guide had to go around them and set our own pitch, our own ropes up through. And I had never been so cold in my life. And I'm standing there looking out over this valley, this beautiful view of these gigantic glaciated peaks, you know, having a hard time breathing, freezing cold, and again, finding myself wondering what I'm doing there. Finding myself thinking about my wife and my family and my friends quite a bit, as well as enjoying the moment, right? Like, don't get it wrong. I was still in awe of where I was and what I was doing and my teammates next to me and this challenge that we were taking on. But Yanapacha was a really brutal mountain for everybody involved. Even one of my guides said, I'm never coming back to Yanapacha. Whether that's true or not, we'll see. But
Hey, ready down, almost down. Fast, ready to go. Way to push, man, for real, dude. Absolutely. Legit. Ah, this guy.
down off the real steep stuff. Basically just an easy walk off the glacier at this point. Unreal. Hard have worked. My whole life. For sure.